Weakness policy, Porygon-Z. How are we going to make this work? Welcome to the channel, guys. My name is THATSA, and today we're going to be taking a look at Porygon-Z and going in depth. We're going to be taking a look at this team. I have a rental code for you, I have a paste bin for you, and I have a full team building section dedicated to showing you why I chose my moves, why I chose my items, why I chose my attacks, and why I chose this team. If you want to see that super in-depth dive, stick around or fast forward till the end of the video. That stuff's also going to be linked in the description of this video. While you guys are down there, let me know the answer to the question of the day. And if you guys like this type of content, remember we made a video just like this last week. We're trying to do at least one of these a week. Let me know a Pokemon you guys want to see me make a serious team around. Again, this isn't the meme content that we do every day. I don't want to use the Dene here. I don't want to use the Molgas. I know those things are a lot of fun, but for this series in particular, since we're trying to make teams that can actually define the meta and be used in like a tournament setting, we're going to try to use Pokemon that have the potential to be good. That's why we're try-harding here with Weakness Policy Porygon-Z. So let me know what Pokemon you want to see me use next week. For those of you guys just curious before we get into the games today, like I said, there will be a full team review breakdown, paste bin, rental code, all that stuff included. We're using a Weakness Policy Porygon-Z, and the way that we're proccing our Weakness Policy is going to be from our own Clefairy, the numero uno partner from Porygon-Z. We're actually going to be using Brick Break. So like turn 1, we can go Follow Me and Trick Room. And then turn 2, remember since we just Trick Room, we use our slower Clefairy with 0 IVs in attack and an attack reducing nature to self Brick Break our Porygon-Z and absolutely just set our own weakness policy win the game. And a lot of you guys are like, this is a cool team, it loses to screens. Doesn't lose the screens because we have Brick Break. So hope you guys like this team. There is a ton more going on in this team than just the PZ Clefairy, and so hopefully you guys are interested in seeing more about that. We're going to get right on into the games. Hopefully we're going to show off some of that tech. Wish me luck. Here we go. Alright, so our first game is going to be going up against Comfey Lapras, Alolan Marowak, Dracovish Talonflame Sableye. I really do like that team, but I think I still have some ways I can kind of deal with it. Amoonguss is going to be pretty good at potentially dealing with, I guess, the Lapras, or maybe even the Comfey. It's kind of hard to say exactly how I want to run this. I have so many options, I feel. I feel even Porygon-Z in this exact matchup can be super, super good. Like if I were to go PZ Clef, let's just talk about going PZ Clef. They have to go Marowak, and if my Porygon-Z can just Dark Pulse the Marowak, we get the KO on it. There's not that many resists either for the Dark other than the Comfey, and then the Comfey doesn't really want to deal with a lot of this stuff. I'm also feeling like Amoonguss is actually like a really good play. But I think like Clefairy PZ is actually just really nice because we can self-proc our policy. And then I think Amoonguss in the back. I also think like Lax here is just super nice still. We're going to go Amoonguss, and then I think I'm just going to bring Lax. Like Lax has just a good matchup versus Marowak. It's decent against the Dracovish, it's good against Talonflame, and it's pretty good against Sableye. So I think that these are just the right 4. I can trick them if I have to. And again, I always want to iterate that whenever I use these teams, like right now, this is the first game that I've ever played. Every single time you ever see me use a team, especially in things like this, I theory craft these things on paper, and I'm like, this would probably be pretty good. But what you guys are actually seeing is my first ever game. Same thing whenever you see like the Dedenne team I used the other day, or you know the video last week where I showed off the hyper aggression. It's all an idea in my head to see if something actually works, and it looks like it's gonna probably work. I do think that I just want to get the Comfey off the board. Like I don't really care about this Talonflame. I don't think I care about it at all. I even think that it might be a decent idea for me to go for like the Protect. Like what's he gonna do, taunt? I think that's fine. I'm just gonna Brick Break my Porygon. We should be able to just actually KO this Comfey with just a max strike, I think. And if you want to Trick Room me, good. If you want to Tailwind me, that's fine. I still have the speed control, and I can Trick Room next and after like 3 turns and use like my double redirections and wait out your Tailwind. So I think I'm okay just going for a max strike onto this Comfey. And I should be able to one-shot. Comfey's pretty bulky, but if anything's switching out, I think it's Talonflame. And he's not switching it out. So I thought he might want to go for like a switch there where he wanted to bring in the Marowak just to potentially block the max strike. But I'm completely fine if you're staying in. Like the fact that you have a Comfey right now, and if I can get that thing off the board, I'll be in such a good spot. And this is a super bulky Porygon. Nothing like what people normally run. And remember, I have the Friend Guard from my Clefairy. I'm pretty sure you're taunting. Yeah, like I know that you're taunting, and that's completely fine with me. Like, we even read that all happening, and still like if this thing's not sashed, he's so donezoed. Are you sashed? I couldn't see it. I was doing something. It is sashed. That's actually still fine because we still do have the brick break potential on the Clefairy, and even though he got the -1 speed there, we're still gonna underspeed the Comfey next turn. You can go for an ally switch or something, but I think we're still fine. So we're gonna get a weakness policy proc, and he's gonna get a Trick Room up, which I think is actually just completely fine. Like, go for it, Chief. Like, that's all you, my guy. And I actually think next turn we are going to go for a Dark Pulse. So right now we have our Porygon-Z adaptability. That's a +2 right now. Yeah, I think we're just going to go for a Brick Break into the Comfey. And I'm thinking about how I actually do want to play this. I am thinking that like Max Darkness into this Talonflame slot could be super nice. Because I think they're probably switching in, either switching in their Lapras and they would lose it. I think that they lose whatever they switch in anyways. Like the fact that I'm slamming in a weakness policy boosted move, it's so much more damage, right? And you can totally ally switch. That's completely fine. Like I have no problem with this ally switch. Yeah, you're wasting a little bit of my max turns, but you're also waiting out your own taunt. You can totally do a Wing Beat. It's not even gonna hit because I'm the best Pokemon player in the world. So Brick Break, no more Gale Wings, Chief, which means now the Trick Room, you're just slower than me. Even with like the speed drop from the max strike, like that's why our stats are so low. That's why we don't have any speed investment, so we can still be used if we set Trick Room, if they set Trick Room. Like this guy's not ready right now. He's not ready. And you can just spam the ally switch all you want, but now you can't because it's gone. So one out. What are you gonna send out? I just literally can one-shot anything you send out right now. Like you can't get through my PZ. You're gonna have to like max guard, wait out the last turn of my max. Like is it Lapras here or is it like Marowak? Because Marowak just can't do it. Lapras, okay. That's completely fine. I could even max guard and hard switch in my Amoonguss if I wanted to. Let's actually think about what I do want to do here. How many turns do we have on the... There's one turn left on the taunt. Like, I don't really want to switch because I feel like I'm going to take a lot of damage. So I kind of want to just stay in with the Clefairy to keep the max guard up. And I could go after the Talonflame and let the Lapras go for a max guard play. I think I'm just going to go... I'm just going to hit that one. I'm not going to be going after the Lapras with a Brick Break because I do think that there is a high chance that it could be policy and like, you know, because he's paired with the Comfey and he's still weak against that slot. So like, I'm just going to go for this. I'm just going to go for the big damage into that Lapras. And the really cool thing is like, he's going to, I think Clefairy goes before this Lapras, but it might not. Because we are actually using a, what is it, an attack reduced nature Clefairy, not a speed reduced nature one on purpose, because we want to do less damage to our Porygon-Z with our own Brick Breaks. But like, if he sets his Resonance, doesn't get a KO, and then I can break his screen and then one-shot him, okay, that would have been dope, right? That would have been super cool. Lapras actually has the potential to be slower than Clefairy, but I think it's still completely fine. I still think you might die, Chief. I still think, like, look how much damage that did not do. Look how much damage that did not do to our bulky AF Porygon-Z. Screens? No, who cares? Next turn, I'm just going to Brick Break him. Yo, Brick Break Clefairy, Brick Break in the meta. That's still a lot of damage to a Max Lapras through a screen. Actually, that same amount of damage is what we're going to be dealing next turn, because right now that Max Strike was based off a Hyper Beam, 150 base power move. We're going to be able to do the exact same thing next turn if we do decide to do that. And he's going to have to taunt us, right? He's going to have to taunt us. We have 2 speed drops on that Talonflame. Clefairy is now shaken off its taunt. That means I can go for Protect this turn. I can Protect and TR his TR if I wanted to. There's a couple different things I could actually do here. I could just keep on Brick Breaking. I could go for a Wish and switch. I don't really see a problem with just going for like a Brick Break Hyper Beam, actually. Like, I don't really see an issue. He won't be able to get the KO. So let's just go for the Brick Break. And we'll just go for a raw Hyper Beam. I have the Mons in the back to correctly deal with this situation, I feel. Like, he can't break a Lax with that Talonflame. So Team goes for the Max Guard. He goes for the Geysers up. Can be setting that Rain Train. Maybe Dracovish is the last one. Yo, that's the power right there. That is the power of the Friend Guard at work. Till the end I will be with you. We will go where our dreams come true. Those screens, they got nothing here. There's the policy. As long as I hit this Hyper Beam, I'm in a great spot. I guess it is possible, though, that we'll, like, something weird happens. Okay, he does further down. I was going to say, his Talonflame actually underspeeds my Porygon right now because he has 2 max strike drops. But I don't want to be the guy to tell him. Oh, we just missed our Hyper Beam, so we lose the game. Great! Oh, that's fun, fair, and balanced gameplay. We just missed our Hyper Beam, so that means that we lose the game. Like, far and away, the game is now over. That's fair and balanced. Missed the Hyper Beam, lose the game. We have these mons in the back, but like there's not that much we can realistically do here. He's going to go for a Resonance. I think the only thing that we can actually do in this situation is just keep breaking this Lapras. And just we are going to hard switch out our Porygon. That sucks. Hyper Beam would have won us the game because he had nothing else in the back. Amoonguss would have been able to wall a Dracovish, and yo, that's just sometimes Pokemon. I guess I shouldn't have hit the Lapras, but I wanted every bit of damage that I could have gotten. We are going to break this last Resonance, but it's going to like cost us most of our Amoonguss slot. We are going to be able to get our Berry back, and I'm curious as to what he's actually going to be doing. The Frengard really helping out our Amoonguss in that exact situation. So we are going to be able to break his last one of these, get our Berry back. We can protect with like Amoonguss, Hard Shell Fairy for Lax, and then, you know, try and like play a game from there. But it's going to be hard. I guess Amoonguss can just go for like Spores into this Lapras if I wanted to. Yeah, Clefairy's thick. We're fine. And we also have Wish on this thing, so like we can actually restore our own health. So let's actually talk about it. Dimensions have returned to normal. Of course, the turn that I actually want to use the speed control that I've set, they return back to normal, but I think it's okay. We still have Porygon-Z, we still have the Lax. He can go for the dual Wing Beat into my Amoonguss, but I think I'm going to protect this turn. And I think, because I am still taunted on this Clefairy, right? Look at this, look how like low power this board is. He's just going to taunt my Amoonguss, probably. So that means I think I'd actually be better off just hard switching in my Porygon and going for like a Pollen Puff into that same slot. I could Rage Powder, I guess, and then resend out my Clefairy. I actually like that a little bit more. Because I think I can eat the damage from both of these guys first. But we'll see how this goes. I think Rage Powder is a decent enough play. And then I just send out my PZ. I mean, I could even go in like a board like Lax is really good here. There's the Rage Powder. We're going to soak some damage. If I lose the Porygon here, we're going to be big sad, but we'll see. There's a Tailwind. That's completely fine. I'm probably going to have to Trick Room him then. We'll see. This is such a weird game. I wish I just hit my damn move, right? Wouldn't it be nice if I could just hit my move? I do probably... It's hard to say exactly if I outspeed that Lapras now because, like, he Tailwinded, but he's at -2. I think Clefairy is still the right play. But at this point, like, do you guys think Dark Pulse KOs that Lapras? Because I don't have my Policy proc anymore. I had to switch Porygon out. I think you have to Hyper Beam it still. I think we still have to Hyper Beam it. Yeah. Hyper Beam. And I don't have the luxury of going for literally anything else, so I have to go for this. Maybe he'll miss a Hydro Pump or something. That'd be completely fair considering I missed a Hydro Pump. Sorry, I missed a Hyper Beam. He's going to Protect! Yo, he's on top of it. He's taunting my Clefairy this turn. That's actually really, really dope. The question really is, though, like... The question is, how bulky are you on that Lapras? Like, is my Lax able to come in here? We have to switch. We have to protect Porygon, I think. And just hard switch in the Lax. And then we'll switch to the Clefairy for the Lax. And just try and play a little bit longer game. And Taunt's pretty much dumpstering us right now. But we would have just won the game if we had our Hyper Beam. Game would have been absolutely over. Maybe I shouldn't hit the Lapras with a Brick Break, but, you know, that's Pokemon sometimes. Sometimes you get never lucky. Pop that Protect. Protect on PZ's somewhat weird. A lot of people don't see it all that often. So, yeah, we blocked that dual Wing Beat there. And Survey says, Hydro, you can miss that, you know. All right, cool. We're even in hacks, because he's about to run out of rain, too, which is actually really nice. I think I'm actually going to Belly Drum and just Hard Switch in my Clefairy, because, like, it gives the Frengard and has the potential. Like, I guess he could taunt my Lax. Like, I guess. Because it's a 2-shot from the Facade. I think I'm just going to go for this. Yeah, I'm just going to go for the Facade 2-shot, I think. I think it should be a 2-shot. Because I think he's going to taunt. I think he's going to taunt my Lax. Because he doesn't want the Lax, like, setting up. Let's see it doing. Oh, he just goes for it. Okay. I guess I could have got my Belladrum off. That's a lot of damage on my Clefairy. And Freeze Dry. Let's see if he's going for it. He's going for the damage. He has a Weakness Policy proc. Watch out. Oh my gosh, I take those. Yep, it's a 2-shot like I said. Tailwind's donezoed. Alright, so let's actually think about how I do want to play this. I'm thinking about actually just popping a Wish. Seeing if I can get away with it. I could also Protect with my Clefairy. I haven't shown Protect yet. I think I might actually just do that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Because if he goes for the same Protect Lapras play, then I'm still in a really good spot for next turn. Looks like he's not protecting Lapras. He might just be retail winning here too, which is completely fine. Lapras protects, he goes for the exact same play. Awesome. Show me taunt. Yes. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna be able to take out that Lapras this turn, whether he likes it or not. I think the right play is actually just to follow me. As weird as that sounds. Because, like, he can go for the taunt, but I don't want any more damage on my Lax. And if I can take out this Lapras, I think I can still win the game. The last mon has to be Dracovish, though, depending on how he played. So, like, it's still going to be really hard to come back from this. I would have loved to gotten a Wish off there, but it's alright. There's the Dual Wing Beat. So we're going to be able to soak both these attacks unless he crits this Dual Wing Beat. It's a good follow me there. And yeah, I didn't get a Belly Drum off, but, like, it really does depend on what his last mon is. It really, really does. If he wants to go hard into the Lax and something weird happens, like he doesn't get the KO, which he might not. Like I might be able to set a Trick Room and then come back depending on how he wants to play it. I don't think he's going to be taunting my forehand. I've not shown Trick Room on this thing. Marowak is his last mon. Okay, that's actually, I can totally deal with that, I think. He's going to have to Dual Wing Beat my Porygon here, which means I could be big sad. I think we actually have to go for the... We can think about protecting here. I don't think we have to... I don't think we have room to Belly Drum right now, though. He could also potentially Ally Switch. I think protecting with this Porygon is actually pretty dope. I wonder if Darkest Lair gets a 2-shot on Marowak. Let's try it. I should probably just be going after that Talonflame so hard right now. I should just be going so hard after that Talonflame. I should have gotten rid of it like 4 turns ago, I think. Protect Marowak. Whoa, he's so good! Is he Tailwinding? That's actually such a nutty play if he is. Dual Wing Beat. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, Facade and that Talonflame wouldn't have really done anything. But Protect Marowak, really smart. See, I'm looking at it like this. Like, I actually think the right play, since we're this pinned, is let's just go after the Talonflame. With a Hyper Beam. And still just go for the Darkest Lariat into the Marowak. It won't KO, but it's a 2-shot. And it really does depend on the Marowak to, like, come back and, you know, defeat my Lax, which is going to be hard. We outsped everything with the Porygon, I forgot. That Talonflame is at, like, at -2 speed. He should have actually Tailwind the last turn. Yo, I will take that. I'm coming back in this game. In this game. I'm coming back. Snapping back to reality. You could totally flip with that Porygon. Go for it, Chief. Oh, he's so... Ooh! Ooh, that recoil. No, I have a berry for that, but, like... Ugh, that's a lot of damage. Alright, so I think I still win, though, because he has to hit the Porygon next turn, which means he's opening himself up to 2 Lax hits. So, like, this Lax hit and a second Lax hit from a Lariat. Yeah, I think we got it. Because I don't think we ever showed that I do have Dark Pulse on the Porygon, so he is going to hit the Lax this turn, and then we just Dark Pulse him. But, you know what? I'll take it. Like, the power of multiple redirection Vanguards. He actually DCs right here. Oh, okay. I thought that was a long turn. Yeah, just go for a Lariat. I cannot believe that we won that game after the missed Hyper Beam. Like, we played so well to come back, and I think Marowak was like the perfect Pokemon for me to actually like still win the game with. He probably had it in the back to like potentially Perish Song, but damn, feels good, man. I forgot that Talonflame was at like -2 speed. He never switched it out, which actually meant that like my Porygon-Z, which had no investment in speed, actually was just still faster than it. So that's actually super cool. Yo, guys, put some wins up for that one. Put some wins up. I cannot believe we came back. Feels good, man. In ranked, you'll love to see it. All right, another Comfey Lapras squad. Yo, I beat one before. I'll beat one again. I think Goodra is a little bit harder to deal with some of the time, but I do like this. Let me actually just see. I think it might actually be Weakness Policy Goodra. I think this is bait. But I guess it could be any of them. That's the reason why that team is so good. It could be any of them. I do think Inteleon is somewhat usable here, but I think the safer play is to just go Porygon-Z Clefairy. And I'm really digging the Porygon-Z Clefairy, not just because we can self-policy proc, not just because we have speed control with Trick Room, not just because we have redirection, not just because we have everything that we could ever want. It's because we also have Brick Break in case they go Lapras, which is so freaking good. I think the only thing this team actually needs to just be the best team ever made is just a dedicated Ghost type to block fighting attacks, but Amoonguss does a really good job about that as well. The only thing that really sucks here is that we can't really redirect a Serena with Amoonguss. I'm still going to bring it just because my mons aren't really afraid of it. But I'm thinking about the last mon here. I don't think you really want Dracovish. I think Inteleon is a decent last mon here because it plays around the ally switches from the Comfey. It has air slashes. That's bad. Inteleon's okay. I think the Lax is just a better play, I guess. Well, Lax is just pretty good versus, like, most of those mons. And Lax does go well with the Amoonguss if I decide to not max my, if I decide to not max my Porygon. Lax and Amoonguss both have berries that can both be brought back. I also think the berry that we're currently using on the Lax is actually the perfect berry. People always ask me, so why do I use a Wiki Berry on my Lax? Wiki Berry says it lowers, it confuses you if you are a special attacking reduced nature. We're a speed reduced nature, so we're actually fine. But the reason we always use a Wiki Berry is because more often than not, Pokemon that will be thiefing or plucking your berry, those are both physical attacks, which means they're probably a special attack reduced nature because they're using a physical attack, right? So you got to big brain it and use the right berry for that exact situation. So we see Comfey Goodra. I can't redirect the Goodra from going for something like absolutely crazy, but I can go for like a hard nuke on the Comfey. I think that might actually be a decent idea because if I go for the Brick Break here, right? If I go for the Brick Break, just a double into, let me think about that exactly. Because it's sashed, right? It has to be sashed. It doesn't have to be. So hard to say. I guess I could just follow me for one turn and just go for a Trick Room. I think I'm gonna do that. I think we're just gonna set the TR. I was gonna say I could go for like a hard nuke on that Comfey, but I think this is a little bit better. Yeah, like I said, I can't stop the Goodra, but next turn I can, right? Maybe. With a +2 weakness policy boosted move. And like, I don't think that Goodra one-shots my Clefairy. We have a very bulky set. It's hard to tell if this Goodra's physical or special right now. Again, he might not be any of those things. He might just be going for a taunt here. Giga Drain, go for it. Sap Saber, you're only getting a +1, so you're physical. You're telling me that right now. That's completely fine. So it's probably the Life Orb set at +1, which means my Clefairy has like 176 points plus nature in defense. So we should be able to eat this. Oh, and he's knucking. Yo, not today. He's going to +2, right? That is significant damage. He's at +2 now. Let's see if he takes that Life Orb damage, that juicy Life Orb damage. Let me see. Yeah, that Knuckle boost on the Comfey and those Life Orbs. Standard sets right now. You got to know all that stuff. Whenever you're playing teams, you have to know exactly what your opponent's working with. And I was able to scout that off right off the first turn by saying like, oh, if he's going for the Sap Sipper, he's physical. If he's physical, he's Life Orb. That's just, you got to do your work and know everything your opponent's going to do. And you know, the way that we win is they have no clue what we're ever doing. Ain't no one see this coming. Self-policy procking, max striking it up. This might make it so we actually outspeed the Goodra next turn because we do have the Trick Room up. But since he's not vested and he showed his Life Orb, this is adaptability, 150 base, double stabbed move because of the adaptability off of a +2 from a weakness policy. Like, it does not get any stronger than this move right now. This is like the strongest move ever used ever. I know that's a max Goodra, and you could totally ally switch, but you're not. All right. Brick Break, you know, with the attack reduced nature, Clefairy, so we do less damage to ourselves. And I'm going to end this Goodra right now. That's an offensive Goodra. I know you're offensive. Like, I know. Oh, we actually under speed. Actually, that's super nutty from him. Like, super cool for him. I'm surprised that Goodra has 0 speed investment. There's no way we could have known that after that first turn. I assumed that there was some. Goodra has a relatively high base speed, but he takes another tick of Life Orb. I take some chip damage, really putting that Friend Guard to work. But, yo, bro, my guy, where you looking? He's actually alive, but he's within Life Orb. He's going to get a 4 healing next turn, but now he's really small. Now he's really slower than me. He Trick Rooms by Trick Room. Oh, but he's slower than me. Yo, wins up. What even is this? I wonder if the Brick Break will actually kill it. He has a defense boost right now. I actually think the right play is just go for the Wish and go for, I want to say I just max strike the Clef Key because like I don't care what he does to my Porygon, and he has to respect my. No, that means we just have to use the friend. We have to use Follow Me. I don't want to, but we have to. And we just max strike the Clef Key. I always call that Clef Key. I always call it. I'm sorry if you guys have to hear me call it Clef Key all the time. There's the Ally Switch. Oh, it's almost like I play the game. Ally Switch is a pretty good move. You know, it's pretty good. Not losing to Ally Switch, which is what we're going to do right now. I could have gotten away with a Wish there, but I wanted to play it standard just in case he did go for something weird like that. Like if he decided to not use the Ally Switch and just fodder the Comfey. Comfey is a problem here but I still think like Porygon-Z is in like a great spot. We don't actually have to like hyper beam a lot of things, because right now like we have the friend guard boost. We're still super thick, and there's nothing Comfey can do about it. He can like heal his teammates, but like I can just one shot his teammates right now. Can't heal something that's destroyed. And so we'll see. This is how you play Clef PZ. Serena, I'm gonna one shot that. I wonder if I can actually one shot it with Dark Pulse. Like seriously, for realsies. Oh, I still have one turn max, that's right. Do we even want to do that then? I think I'm actually just gonna go for a wish. Just a raw wish, just get that free wish. I forgot I had one turn max left. Yeah. Just do that damage. That big damage. He's going for the withdraw on the Comfey. Yo, go for it, Chief. Why would I care? Sylveon. Sylvie gone next turn, know what I'm saying? High jump kick. Yo, he wants it. Oh, he's banded. Oh, the 7 HP, that Eevee spread. I think he is banded on that thing. There's no way that actually does that much. I'll take it. I will. Are you actually just at like 1 HP? Sash? Oh, wow, he's actually just Sash. That's kind of nutty. That's kind of nutty. I'm very surprised. I'm very, very surprised that that thing lived. I thought that was banded, so it must just be an adamant set, and, you know, I'm just not as bulky as I thought I was. Which is completely fine. Like, I'm super okay here. I actually think I just outspeed it right now with my Porygon, but I do know that that Sylveon potentially has quick attack, so I do have to watch out for those things. I'm probably just going to protect my PZ for 1 turn. I guess I could just follow me. No, I'll protect my PZ for 1 turn because I can. I feel like I'm afforded that luxury here. And it'll waste the Sylveon's time, and then I'll get a free Wish Proc, go back up to full, and then next turn we should outspeed that Sylveon. We can Hyper Beam it next turn and just follow me. We should be able to get the KO on the Serena with the, he goes for the Power Up, which is the right play. Misses on the Clefairy, that is the right play. Actually disrespects my Porygon and still goes for the Hyper Voice. No quick attack on that set. And Clefairy, remember we used Wish, we're still going to be completely fine. Brick Break, Clefairy taking names right now. I think it's Clefairy's 2nd KO of the video. Like, we were dumpstering people with Brick Break. Like, don't forsake it. And we should be able to outspeed that Sylveon, because we have the max strike up onto it. The last Mon is the Comfey. Comfey can definitely take out my... It could definitely take out my Porygon with that healing move. Because Triage gives priority to all healing moves. So like Drain Kick is like +3 priority. So I actually can't follow me right now. It means the best play is actually just to protect. The best play is actually just to protect and try and Hyper Beam the Sylveon. But if he has it, he has it. Follow me would not be able to redirect from here. He scoops. I'll take the win. Like, this team has so many cool things going on for it. There's so many cool things going. I know I just, like, PZ cleft, like, for every single game today. But we are going to be using this team on Twitch for a decent amount of time. So you're going to see a ton of Snorlax and Moongus games. You're going to get to see a ton of Inteleon Dracovish games. Unfortunately, we just fought Lapras in both of those matchups. And, you know, Dracovish and Inteleon, they kind of struggle versus the Lapras matchup, but they're good versus pretty much anything else. And the fact that we fought against, like, Comfey Lapras and then Comfey Goodra Lapras, which are probably the 2 most, like, oppressive, controlling, you know, degenerate teams in the meta other than PZ Clef. And we absolutely dumpstered both of them, even getting unlucky in that first game. I think it just shows this team is very, very well made. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at the Eevee spreads, take a look at the rental codes so you can use this team in your own games, and I'm going to break down why I Eevee trained all these Pokemon the way that I did, why I picked all the moves that I did, and talk about potential leads and potential matchups. So if you guys like that, leave a like on the video if you haven't yet, obviously. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and yeah, let's hop right into looking at the rental code. Here we go. Alright, so let's take a look at the rental code for this team so you can see just how I like to organize all my moves. And I actually think before we actually take a look at the rental code and all of the Eevees and stuff, I really just want to talk about the importance of organizing your team in the team preview. You can see that my team goes Inteleon Porygon, Moongus Snorlax, Clefairy Dracovish, which means we're going to be looking at them. Actually, you know what I can even do? I actually think it'd be better if we looked at it like this. That's what my team looks like in the team preview, right? And it's a little bit different from how it looks on the rental code, obviously. But I think showing it this way definitely hides what I'm trying to do and makes it so when I do decide to bust out whatever sort of core that I have, because this team has 5 or 6 different cores that we have, it's a lot easier to get away with that because we have the illusion of going for specific things. Obviously, they're going to see the Inteleon and think we want to go airstreams into our Porygon, which is what most people would do. They also see the Amoonguss and the Clefairy next to the Lax, so think we really want to go set up Lax. They really disrespect the ability for me to go Inteleon Dracovish because there's so many mid-game level redirection threats and speed control threats regarding the Porygon and the Inteleon that overall they relatively sleep on the Dracovish. From my experience with this team. So I really do think that the organization of how you should be organizing your team to mitigate weaknesses, to highlight certain cores, to draw attention from other cores is really, really important. I actually have a video talking about the importance of the team preview. You can check it out on YouTube. It's here somewhere on the channel. But I think it's a relatively underutilized tactic that a lot of people don't actually take the time. Normally people just throw 6 Mons on your team, but the order that you put your Mons to really say like your team does one thing, it gives you the, flexibility to force your opponent to respect that option so you can literally do anything else you want. And you knowing that, like me knowing that they have to respect my ability to super redirect things gives me so much more freedom in like in the first game, for example, that we played. That guy went like taunt Talonflame because he knew we were super redirection spam. And I even went with the super redirection, but like I forced him to do that. Like looking back, hindsight 2020, I could have just went Inteleon Dracovish and dumpstered that guy because he had like Talonflame and like weak Mons, like everything he thought he needed to beat my redirection would have gotten dumpstered by the rest of my team. And that's a good example of a well-made team. But let's look at some of these move choices, some of our item choices before we get into our Eevees. You can see that we're still running Sniper, but I run Sniper Life Orb. I think most people in this double redirection team would really expect the Inteleon to be a scope blend sniper. But if you look at a lot of the history of me and my content, I actually am a really big fan of running just Life Orb sets on Inteleon because we're going to be maxing it more often than not when we do decide to use it. And this is actually a regular Inteleon. It's not Gmax. You do not want to Gmax this thing because you need to be able to set rain for your Dracovish. So it's super important to use regular Inteleon here. And I just think the Sniper is better than Torrent. If we were running a Sash Inteleon, which is another really good option for this team, if you're not going to be maxing it as much, Torrent would by far be the better ability. But on the off chance that you do crit any of your moves, if you're running a Life Orb Sniper, there's like nothing that actually lives that. And I think that Snipe Shot actually is a move that does have a high crit ratio, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it says it on Showdown, but I'm pretty sure it is a high crit ratio move, just like, Night Slash and Leaf Blade. So, yeah, Sniper is just a really good set on this Inteleon, and Inteleon provides a speed control. Like, a lot of the times, what we did today was we went, like, redirection with PZ and set, like, Trick Room and play Bulk, but, like, we can just as easily go, like, Inteleon, go for an Airstream and power up our Porygon, give it a speed boost, and just one-shot anything. And moving on to the Porygon, I really like this set. This set is very similar to the Porygon that we used at Worlds in 2017 that used, it was just a Trick Room set. It was a Trick Room Protect set. We had Ice Beam over Dark Pulse at the time, but you just slam in the Adaptability Hyper Beams. Like, I've been saying it for a really long time that Porygon is super, super good. And right now, obviously, Porygon's super meta. But I feel a lot of people are running like Herp Derp Life Orb sets, and this Weakness Policy set with a ton of bulk investment, like you saw just how many moves we ate on this Porygon. Like if you're looking for some good Porygon sets, this is the one. Amoonguss, I really like the Citrus Berry on the Amoonguss here, just because we're pairing it with a Snorlax. You can go for the Gmax Replenish and get back multiple berries. I don't really think you need like a Cobra Berry on this set. Talonflame's not that bad of a matchup for this team because we have 2 water types and the rest of our team is incredibly bulky. We can also eat a dual Wing Beat or a Brave Bird from a Talonflame with this Eevee Spread investment we'll talk about a little bit later. I think if there's any one thing we would change here, I do really like the Pollen Puff because we can go for self-heals onto our Lax, onto our Porygon, onto our Dracovish, but I think if I were to cut one move, I would cut the Pollen Puff for like a Giga Drain or something like that, just to help out a little bit versus the Gastrodon matchup, because that can sometimes be a little bit of a problem, just from my thoughts in the team building phase. Like if I have to go like PZ, Clef, Amoonguss, and I really want to go Dracovish, like it's kind of hard to force that Dracovish in there if my only way to take it out is Porygon. But if Amoonguss can be a secondary attacker to help pin Gastrodons, that'd be really, really nice. Snorlax set, you've seen me use this set a ton of times. It's a super bulky belly drum set. So we're not actually like a full attack belly drum set. We're super bulk. We're just strong enough to get KOs on a lot of a lot of like common threats, and we have perfect coverage with Facade and Lariat. There's not a ton of things that block both of those moves right now. So remember also, Target's Lariat goes through stat boost. So even if they're using like Corviknights and stuff like that, they can't bulk up to outtrade you. Same thing for Ferrothorns. So I really like the Snorlax set, and I'm actually one of the few players that still does use Recycle on my Snorlaxes. I know that the Wiki Berries and the Apapa Berries and the Pinch Berries do not give the 50% health boost anymore, back when Recycle Wax was good in like 2017 and 2018. But I still feel that since we have double redirection on this team, that's the perfect opportunity to go for those recycles. Like we were talking about when we were playing that first game today, how like Lax can just beat their Talonflame. Like recycle would be the reason why. A lot of those like wall mons just don't do enough damage to do over like 40% to Lax every single turn. So every 2 turns you just pop a recycle and you can wall out most threats. Clefairy here, I love this Clefairy set. I think Protect is really underrated on Clefairy. If I were to cut any move on the Clefairy, I would cut the Protect for Ally Switch so we can use Wish on our teammates. You know, we go like a Wish, and then, you know, next turn we go with an Ally Switch to make it so the Wish would be on the target of what was the original Clefairy slot, so we can Wish there. But I do think the Protect is super nice because a lot of people just nuke Clefairies, because the way to beat Clefairy and its Friend Guard ability, which gives your teammate a plus defense special D boost as long as Clefairy's on the board, is you take the Clefairy out first, right? That's how you normally do it. And if you can protect the Clefairy, if you can get in their head, and force them to think you're going to follow me, and then they have to nuke it, and then you protect, you Wish pass. It's really, really good just to use Protect. Also, Protect and Wish have good synergy together. Nothing says hit me like someone just using Wish, right? Especially in doubles. So I really think Protect Wish is really good there. Follow Me Standard and Brick Break, super premium. Not only in activating our policy, but being able to stop other people from screening. We fought against 2 Laprases today, 2 Lapras teams. And this is also super, super good versus Grim. Like, you saw, like, that Talonflame that we fought in the first game, like, taunted me, like, multiple times, and, like, I broke his Gale Wings. I picked up, like, 2 KOs with this Clefairy. Like, people are sleeping on our boy, and so I think, like, an attack-reduced nature Clefairy that has a Brick Break is actually really, really good for this team. And last but not least, we have Dracovish. It's actually the same Dracovish set that we used in the Hyper-Aggressive team. You know, I made that Dracovish, and just because we're using it in a different team, its Eevee spread is meant to work at +1. This team can still give +1s because of Inteleon. It still gets its outspeed threats while still not being full speed, so it still technically does work in a Trick Room against other more aggressive, like base, you know, I guess 70-ish plus speed mons. So it's still a really good mon. I still like it, and it does definitely force your opponents to respect it, bringing those Pokemon that, you know, we want to take advantage of, like Labrases and Goodras and things like that. So now we're going to take a look at our Eevee spreads. And I will say that this team uses a lot easier to understand Eevee spreads because this is a lot more like one-dimensional team. I would say this team, I'm not going to say it's harder to play than the other one, but this team is definitely more flowcharty and has more of a, you pretty much pick your core. Do you want to go Inteleon Dracovish? Do you want to go Inteleon Redirection? Do you want to go Porygon Redirection? Do you want to go Snorlax Redirection? Do you want to go Dracovish Redirection? Do you want to go Dracovish Porygon? You know, you can pretty much pick exactly, you can pick your 2-mon core, and you do the best one for the situation, and that's kind of how this team works. So we're going to be taking a look at the Inteleon first. Like I've already talked about, I really like the Life Orb set on this thing. It really makes it wonders for when this Pokemon is in its Dynamax form. And remember, the Snipe Shot is going to be boosted up to, it's not boosted up to the same level as the Hydro Candy because we're not using that other Inteleon, but it's still definitely strong enough to get up KOs even with the Life Orb. And this is a 252 speed set, and I do think you need to just go full speed with the 120 because there's so many Pokemon that still kind of run around that number that we have to be this fast, otherwise we risk getting outsped by like base 110s like Gengar and stuff like that are timid. So we have to be this fast. It's unfortunate. Also, another really cool thing is that, what was that exact number? There's a few things that we actually outspeed, being full speed, where we outspeed some weird like base 70 or +1 speed to like 70 base speed Scarf Mons and stuff like that. So it's actually really nice to just be full speed on this thing. Also, might as well speed tie that Alakazam, other really popular Pokemon we featured before. So really, really smart to still go full speed. Might as well go full special attack. And last but not least, you put the last 4 in HP because remember, if we are going to be Dynamaxing, we're going to be getting double off that. So you could also talk about taking the points off HP just because we do have a Life Orb, but I do think just put the points in HP. It's not that bad. Up next, Porygon. Very simple set. This is, like I said, the set that I use at Worlds. This is the adaptability set, which says this Pokemon's same type attack bonus, stab, is ×2. So it's going to be giving you a double stab pretty much on your Hyper Beam or your Max Strikes. It's really, really good. And I think this is like the evolution of where people are going to be going with Porygon-Z. I don't know how people haven't like seen this. Like, this is going to be such a big brain play to just go like Brick Break Clefairy with like Weakness Policy PZ, but like, and Trick Room. Like, it's super speed control. We have the ability to Hyper Beam and like Max Strike to apply a -1 speed, but like, we can just Trick Room things that are way too fast. Like, if we see Dracovish on the other side, just follow me. Don't die because we use the move first because of Dracovish. Redirect everything, set the Trick Room, and just rinse and repeat, easy peasy lemon squeezy over. And just like we saw in the first game, even after like 2 max strikes, we still like sometimes don't underspeed things. Sorry, we're not outspeeding things after 2 max strikes. So like, it's still really nice to have Trick Room on this set. And I feel the Trick Room is really, really nice on this team because we also have like the Amoonguss. Like, if I want to go Amoonguss Porygon and I go turn 1, like Rage Powder or even Protect, and just Trick Room, the next turn I can go for Spores. Like, that's so nutty and it's so good. There's so many teams you're not going to be able to have that much. There's not that many things that a lot of teams can actually do against this in a best of 1 and even a best of 3. Like, if you go all in to beat that Porygon-Z and like next game I just go Lax, like, yeah, they're both normal types, but the things that beat them are completely different. So let's also talk about one last thing. Note that my Inteleon has a Dark Pulse to go for the Max Darkness, which can lower Special D because we have a big special attacker. Porygon-Z is the same way. Dark Pulse, this is basically for coverage. The things that stop normal types are Ghosts, so we want to hit those for super effective damage. Things that, you know, stop the Dark types, you know, take damage from Hyper Beam. So that's pretty much it. Lax is the same way. Darkest Lair, Facade. I just really think it's really good coverage, and, you know, Dark Pulse going into the Max Darkness lowering Special D is actually really, really nice for this core. So up next, Amoonguss, like I said, really, really cool set. Doesn't get much better than this. Make sure to go 0 speed on this guy, 0 attack as well. It's just enough bulk on the defensive side to be able to eat a Brave Bird on a Talonflame. If you switch in the Clefairy, like we kind of talked about earlier, Clefairy's Friend Guard ability is really, really premium on this team. A lot of the calcs you actually run with this team are all like taking into account Friend Guard. Because it's just super important to always potentially have a Friend Guard up. But yeah, other than that, I like this set a lot. If I were to cut one thing, I'd cut Pollen Puff for Giga Drain, just to help me out in the Gas Drum matchup. And I would like Giga Drain over the Energy Ball. I'm always just a fan of the Giga Drain. Being able to get that health restoration is really nice. This is a really cool Lax set. It's really, really heavy on the defensive side because Lax, remember how we were talking about in, you know, a episode the other day where I was fixing Patreon teams? That's still up, by the way. You guys can still submit teams to the Patreon. There'll be a link to it in the description, and we'll be able to run these same type of videos where I tweak your Patreon teams, you know, if you guys do submit them. But yeah, you always want to like put a lot of points into your stats that have like a lot of value. I think this Lax set could be I think it could technically be optimized, but right now we're in a case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just like this one. This could definitely be optimized, I'm sure. I'm sure I don't need this much HP, but I think with this Lax set, like Lax has such a high base special D stat, 110, it's not really worth to put points into that because I already can eat those attacks very well, and I don't plan on eating any more special attacks. I'm really worried about physical attacks. My weakness is fighting attacks, and I know there's a ton of Urshifu's running around, and this thing can just kind of dumpster Urshifu's. They can't do that much damage to it at all. And so, yeah, I think I'm getting diminishing returns on that HP stat. You need at least this much attack in Lax to make it so we're going to, remember, we're using Belladrum. We're just going to max our attack. It's going to give us a +6. And so we still need this much attack to actually be able to one-shot other Maximons once we have a Belly Drum off. We're not actually, like a lot of people just go full attack and Lax and they set their Belly Drum, but then they don't have the like bulk necessary required to you know, get the Belly Drum off and then regain board control. What this set does, it soaks a ton of damage, gets the Belly Drum off, and just barely has enough damage to one-shot other Maximons. You're still going to be able to OHKO most mons like Art Max. So like if we were to Belly Drum right and then just use a Facade, we'd one-shot a Talonflame, we'd one-shot a Marowak with a Darkest Lariat, and if they wanted to max, then we would still be able to one-shot those Max mons respectively. Like one-shotting Max Sweepers is definitely possible for this Lax set. We can't one-shot like a G-Max Lapras with this Lax set, but you know what? Lapras can't do anything to Lax, so we're still in a really good spot. So yeah, I like this Lax set. It's pretty good. It forces your opponent to respect it a lot. And remember, G-Max Replenish, boosted off of this Facade here, can restore both our Wiki Berry and the Amoonguss' Citrus Berry. And again, the Wiki Berry is super important here. Like I was talking about, it restores 33% of your health once you go to a quarter. Remember, Lax's Gluttony ability lets it use its berries at half health. If you're a minus special attacking nature, I talked a little bit about this. The Lax that I actually use in-game, I think has been minted, but you always want to use a Wiki Berry because Thief Pluck, a lot of those moves that take your berries, even things like, you know, Grimmsnarls and Sableye that use Trick, those guys are all going to be special attacking Reduced Nature because they're all physical attackers. Things that use Thief are like Arcanine, things that use Pluck are Corviknights, and then the Sableye Grimmsnarl, those are all things that are going to be like Adamant, Careful, you know, Impish, things like that. And so you always want to make it so if they do happen to take your berry somehow, they're going to be confused if they ever have to use it. So that's always really smart. People always ask me why I use a Wiki Berry, and that is the exact reason why. Because Snorlax, you know, Snorlax is minus speed nature, so it doesn't really have to worry about it. So always use your Wiki Berries if you can. It's really, it's a good idea. Clefairy set, it's super bulky on the defensive side because, again, I really do feel that defensive threats are definitely more important to work on for this team. Like, Amoonguss and Clefairy are also a little bit different. Amoonguss already resists a lot of the physical threats. Like, those fighting attacks that we don't want to eat with a lot of these, Amoonguss already resists those things, so I don't need to go heavy in defense. And the fact that my Amoonguss is more on the specialty side, remember, we're playing to our higher base stat advantage. We're getting our nature into our stat that gives us the better returns, 80 as opposed to a 70. It's really, really good here. So we have a special redirector and we have a physical redirector. It's really, really nice to see. And we kind of spread those stats around, so their Clefairy is a little bit of mix of both, but like, it's still just really good. I think the Clefairy set here is so nice, and I just absolutely love it. You could talk about taking points out of the Clefairy's, what is it? You could talk about taking points out of Clefairy's speed, but I don't think that it's actually worth it. I don't think I need to make this thing any slower at all. Maybe it might be value, but like, I think I'm okay with it. Like, it's another case of, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and it would be a pain in the butt to go get a 0 speed Clefairy. And I do like the 0 attack reduced nature, so I do less damage to my Porygon with my Brick Break. It's actually really nice, and I did breed for that. Last but not least, same Dragonfish set from last time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We have just enough speed to outspeed base 130s at +2, and we outspeed most like base 85s or base 90s or whatever is at +1, so it's still really good. That's pretty much all I got for you guys with this video, though. Remember, we're going to take one last look at the rental code. You guys can use this for yourself. I want to ask you guys one more time for the question of the day. What mons do you want to see me use in these videos? I'm trying to make one of these super serious team breakdowns, Eevee spread reviews per week. And so this was this video, this was the team for this week. So hopefully you liked it. I had a lot of fun using it, and we're probably going to use it a lot more on Twitch. Twitch.tv/THATSaplusONE in the upcoming week. But if you guys have any Pokemon you guys want to see me make a little bit more serious teams around. Like with this team, you can tell I was a little bit more serious. Last week I was a little bit more serious. Like, I know people want to see Flygon and Sandaconda and Centiskorch, but the whole point of this series is to be a little bit more serious. So if there's a Pokemon you want to see me use, and you know, you think it has the potential to actually be meta-defining, let me know in the comments below. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.